Besides, what fun is it if you have all the money and nobody knows who you are? I have no money, but I guarantee you they knew who I am.
The late 80s. It was a time of spandex, Aquanet, broken dreams, and bad decisions. Some bands made it, but most bands just fell by the wayside into obscurity, forgotten, only maintaining a cult following at best, whether it be due to mismanagement, poor label decisions, inter-band turmoils, chemical abuse, egotism, addiction, or just plain old bad luck, or all of the above. Then there was Bang Tango, a band that didn't quite fit the mold of what was popular at the time. Unfairly lumped in with their contemporaries, a band that should have been something more nonetheless, and still can be. At a time when people, by the way, I disagree. They were Guns N' Roses group, just for the record. And still can be? Really? All right. I'm rooting for them. At a time when people were afraid of something original and unfamiliar, Bang Tango represented originality more than familiarity. But this doesn't even scratch the surface of what was, what happened, and what became of Bang Tango, the unsung heroes of a trend that never began. At the time, over 400 bands were signed to major labels around the country. Only 3% of those bands were successful. This is a story that represents the other 97%.
Hair metal was getting really bad in the late 80s, and Bang Tango came in, and they were really just kind of an ass-kicking band.
Yeah, you had to be deep into that music, too, to know tango.
And it was harder-edged than the bullshit that was on MTV at the time.
Tango had like a different thing, you know, it had like a darker thing, a little bit of the cult in there.
They've been thrown into that box, you know, into that LA sound, you know, that at the time, but they really were never a part of it.
I'm getting that feeling again.
Bang Tango was part of the Hollywood scene, but I think that they kind of got lumped into the kind of the wannabe bands, even though they weren't.
Bang Tango was a very misunderstood band.
The question, why wasn't Bang Tango more well known?
That is the $64,000 question, because they should have been.
There were bands that sold a lot more records than Bang Tango that didn't have half of the talent that Bang Tango did, and that's really a shame.
I don't know who's even in the band right now.
I know they still tour under the name Bang Tango. I'm not sure what that's about, but I see Joe keeps the flame. I'll give Joe a lot of credit for keeping the flame alive, but there's a kind of sadness to the whole thing when I see it like that, because it's kind of like this, I don't even recognize it from what it was. You know, there's no guys in the band I've never seen before, and that initial picture of them on that cover of Psycho Cafe, that was money.
So I played in a lot of different bands through high school. I had this band called Mickey Knight. We opened up for Poison and all of the 80s bands. And then I left that band, and I got together with Kyle. And we put this band City Slick together.
It was kind of going not the quite way I saw it. I didn't see it panning out.
That lasted about a year, and then me and Kyle just split off from that.
I told him, do your thing. I'm going to do my thing, but if you ever decide this band's not for you as well, let me know, and maybe we'll start something else. And eventually that happened a few months later.
We decided to do another band. We decided to form a new band.
And basically the other players came really quick.
I wanted another guitar player. It was a 4-piece, so we got Kyle Stevens in.
Kyle Stevens grew up near Mark in his area, so he knew of Kyle as being a really young, really good guitar player.
A buddy of ours, Amir Darak, he was in a band called Rough Cut. He had just tried out 300 singers for Rough Cut, and I said, what were the last guys that didn't make the band? And he mentioned this kid out in San Diego, because he's real green, kind of, but he's got a vibe, man. You might want to call him.
It was just one of those things where I was like, oh my God, I know the guy for you. Like, this guy is perfect for you guys. And so I connected them.
It was Joe Lestay.
We originally had a drummer for a little bit on the first few songs that came from Mark as well, I think, but somehow it wasn't working out in one way or the other. So Joe said I have a guy from San Diego and some of the bands he'd played with before, and that was Tig. So obviously that worked well.
And that's how Bang Tango was formed.
2, 1, 2, 3, and we're Bang Tango!
We love to hear the bass and drums like hit you in the chest and chop the guitars up. I've got like a really different type of voice, I think. You know, I go from one low thing to this incredible high type, you know, screeching voice, you know, and anything in between, you know. There's no bars on us. We'll go for anything, you know. I think that separates us. We're not a safe band.
Well, I know why you're feeling so sad, yeah. I see that tear in your eye. You look, but you just can't find it. I know there's a reason why.
The band was very unique, just the way it sounded.
It was like a funk rock band.
They got some nice perverted kind of songs in there.
They're a unique band. I mean, there wasn't another band at the time that sounded like that.
They sound like a cross between the Cult, Guns N' Roses, Skid Row, and a little bit of Chili Peppers thrown in there.
They wrote some catchy songs, and they were original.
That they've got like some funk in their songs and a little bit of soulful.
Where were you when midnight struck? Where were you when midnight hit?
With some punk undertones.
Get it up, get it out, push it up, spit it out. On and it won't stop now. Get it up, get it.
And they even had like this weird little bit of gothy sprinkle in them that was very strange.
I'm dressed up and I'm ready to fly. An ego want to satisfy.
They weren't a melodic hair band with ballads.
They were like a band that had some balls behind them. They had backbone.
We all play the same guitars and the same basses and the same drums, microphones, and there's only, you know, it's all been done. So to create something unique with those same elements is to be applauded, and then to have good songs on top of that, and that's what they had.
We had a vibe. I mean, the five of us had a certain vibe that was exciting, and it just, the chemistry like would light up. You know, people just gravitated to the band. It was different too. We were weird. We weren't the average band, you know.
From the time we started to the time that we signed a deal, it was about 6 months. It was really quick.
We felt like we could conquer anything at that point, you know, in those days.
I had heard about this band, and I was invited down to rehearsal with them. But I happened to be at the right place at the right time. And I really liked them, and I knew I needed a band like that to produce because I hadn't had any really big bands. So I got close to them, and they got close to me, and we decided we'd work together.
We were all kind of in it together. He was becoming a producer, and we were becoming a rock and roll band.
They were just the perfect band for me to do at that moment. And we started to work together, and then they got signed, and we started rehearsals, and it was like every other project.
Yeah, it was amazing. Of course, first of anything that big, it was pretty exciting. Out of town, take you out of LA for the first time. We recorded it in Texas.
It was good for the band to get out of Los Angeles. For some people like to stay local. For us, it was really good because we were young, and I think it was a good way to just kind of get out, let some steam off in a different way, and let it reflect in the music instead of getting caught up too much into this, going out partying all the time. I mean, we had a good time while we were out there, but it was really getting to work. We had 3 weeks, and we plugged it out in 3 weeks.
They were the first band I had worked with that were rock stars, and they really were rock stars. I mean, it was my crazy, really stupid idea to take this band to Austin, Texas, for some reason, to San Marcos, Texas, because I had found a little studio, secluded studio called the Fire Station that was down there. The band drove down there, I flew down there. The first night we get there was absolute debauchery. I mean, I had never seen anything like this, because I was, I'm a middle-class Jewish kid from Philadelphia, and these guys are rock stars from L.A. But in L.A., you had Poison and you had Motley Crue, and they were like, girls were getting, it wasn't a great time for women back then. Anyway, we eventually got to making the record.
CDs came out, like the first one I bought, I was like a little kid, I bought Psycho Cafe, and I thought it was like the coolest fucking thing I'd ever heard in my life.
That's definitely probably their pinnacle album.
It's one of those strange albums that still sounds remarkably good and hasn't particularly dated. It sounds fresh, it sounds exciting, and I think the songs do stand the test of time.
The recording process for Psycho Cafe was pretty straightforward. I mean, we did the drum tracks with Tig. He came to the party and he played really well. The guitar players had their parts really worked out, so they were golden. Kyle was just amazing. Kyle, without him in the band, I don't think that band sounds like that. And we left a lot of space for the bass to be featured in a lot of their big songs. If you notice, Breaking Up a Heart of Stone and Someone Like You are bass-oriented songs, Love Injection, songs like that. I thought Love Injection could have been a smash, but not to be for some reason. That's probably why we're doing this whole thing. And Joe was the hard part. Joe was, we had to do a lot of vocal takes. We flew a lot of choruses in because Joe was a great personality, but Joe was not a great singer. Joe was more of a crooner. Joe would have been actually better at being Frank Sinatra than he would have been at being a singer in a rock band because he had a growly voice. So the challenges were really getting him to sound good.
Because that was before Pro Tools or any sort of altering pitch or any of that stuff. So, I mean, he really, really put Joe to the ringer. I mean, he'd spend like 12, 13-hour sessions to get vocals out of him.
And then when I saw the video, I loved the video. I thought Joe was a star in that video.
Well, at that point, we had we kind of had the whole industry team kind of backing us, and Michael Stein, I think was his name. I forget the director, but kind of came up with this concept, kind of Billy Idol-esque, like futuristic. We're the new band coming into the 90s.
Yeah, the first weird thing I remember, we're sitting near the end of that shoot. The director was dating Shelley Duvall from The Shining, one of my favorite flicks, and I remember she dug the video in the band. She went and bought us like 2 cases of Tecate beer.
Oh, she sure did. She showed up with Coronas.
So the last few scenes and Someone Like You, those are the shots after we had the beer. So it was like just try not to fall into the fluorescence and wreck the whole set moment. So at the end of the video, we were kind of a little drunk at that time. It was pretty fun.
That video was insane. You know, I was hyper as hell on that, and it was hot as hell too. It was awesome though. It was really cool.
And then Joe got up there and he just killed it. And we're like, okay, we got a winner here. You know, we got a winning horse. I think we're gonna do well. He was on fire, just a superstar, like performance-wise. You know, it was great. And then when the video came out, I mean, it was like every day it was on the countdown. We were like a household name, you know. We were just like, whoa, man, there it is again. You know, I'd come home in the afternoon, turn it on, and see Someone Like You on. It was like, it was a trip. And then after every gig we'd play, we'd go back to the hotels and we'd have a little party, and it'd be on MTV. And we were like, you know, it was a lot fast. Just boom, it happened. We got the record deal. We did a live record, put that out. That kind of started the buzz. Then we did the video with the record Psycho Cafe. Then we did the video, and overnight, really honestly overnight, we did our first show. I think it was in the Cactus Club in San Jose, and we show up and there's like a line down the street. We're like, what? This is unbelievable.
All of a sudden, it just blew up, and it went like out of nowhere.
Have you ever cried the tears of the lonely?
And we're like, whoa. And then from there, we came back, we played the Whiskey, and there was like a 2-mile line down the street where we played it maybe 3 months before the record came out, and there was 20 people there.
You know, we're number 3 on MTV, we're like, you know, broke top 40 on Billboard, and we're, you know, shipping out thousands of albums a week. You walk into a music store, you drive down the street, you hear a Radio Cargo bio playing your song.
And then we went out and toured the U.S., and man, we were like practically selling out every single club in the U.S. Like, we just pull in and we were like, wow. And it didn't happen that way for everybody that came out of the LA club circuit.
We did that for 4 years, you know, and that was just like a really cool way of sort of growing up.
I like being on the road for those experiences of everything, because some people say the road can take 2 years of your life. Other people say 2 years can, the road can add 2 years to your life.
I'm sitting here, I was thinking the other day, this is only Psycho Cafe. This is like, we've got umpteen albums to go, you know. We're going to continue to make albums and albums and albums. And I feel like each album is a kid. Like, we just had a kid. This is Psycho Cafe. This is our kid. And we're trying to make our kid grow up and be, safe and make sure it happens, you know. And that's the way it's been. It's like sending a rocket to the moon, and we're not even finished yet.
We were on fire. We were a gang. Everything was cool. Everything was great. We were, there was a lot of ego in Bang Tango. Everybody was out to prove themselves. Everybody was looking for the limelight, except for Tig. He was pretty humble.
I don't think there was any kind of, I couldn't even tell you, regarding issues, problems. I don't really remember anything happening special.
They didn't get along that well. Joe was always at odds with everybody.
We're back at the Cat House 5-year anniversary. I'm here with Joe Lestay, the singer of Bang Tango. And what brings you guys here tonight?
Your ever so wonderful presence, I guess. Yeah. We just came back. We're out touring in New York, and we flew in to do the Cat House party.
You guys have been hanging out at the club for a while.
Oh yeah, many years. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I want to say thanks for flying out here Yeah, I want to say thanks for flying out here just for the party.
So I heard about Bang Tango because they were one of the bands that was playing around the Sunset Strip, and every band wanted to play my club. And I know that sounds like, really full of myself, but it's true. And because I was very particular on the bands that played, you'd walk in there and I wouldn't announce who's playing, and it could be Guns N' Roses or Megadeth or, Alice in Chains or anybody. So I was very particular about who played. And Bang Tango was one of the Sunset Strip bands, and the guys would come to the club, nice guys, but because I always thought of them as a Sunset Strip band, even though we're associated with that scene, I didn't like Bang Tango, and I didn't even know what they sounded like, but I just hated the Sunset Strip type bands. And the guys were hanging out there all the time, and the guys were just really, really good guys. And all my doormen and everybody else were friends with the guys. Dude, let Bang Tango play. They're really cool guys. They're so nice. And after a while, and I think I went to go see them play somewhere, and I was like, they're not that bad. They're all pretty good showmen. So we had them play the Cat House, and then we had them play the Cat House a lot. And I think we brought them when Cat House did a tour. We brought them there, and even to the point when I did the Cat House 20th anniversary, it was very important for me to have Bang Tango with all the original members play that, because Bang Tango was a part of that scene.
All right, you guys want to go dancing?
Wait, I need light. How are they gonna see me, Johnny?
You guys want to go dancing? Huh?
None of this shit. No, that's for Axl Rose.
We got something better. This is called Dancing on Coals, baby!
When they came to me to do Dancing on Coals, I was in rehearsal with them, and I told them they didn't have the songs, and they fired me.
Well, because I'm an idiot, I guess. I take blame for that. I mean, fuck, what can I say, man? My head was starting to blow up.
Once again, some sort of ego bullshit.
I think Howard came in and really pissed me off and the rest of the guys in the band, and so I think we kind of corralled like a bunch of pack of dogs and said, Howard's out.
I was upset about it, and I was really mad, but I knew I was right. And I was right, because it didn't really sell that well as our record did.
We were going for a whole different thing. We were trying to evolve on our second record, but I think we evolved too much for what our fan base wanted, and that kind of killed us, in a sense. We went in for a certain raw production, and it just came out really slick, and I have no regrets about it.
I guess some think that album was a little bit overproduced. As far as the guitars, I agree a little bit, because it loses a little bit of the edge and the in-your-face kind of hit from the guitars that those guys do.
Production-wise, it was flat. It didn't have that sack to it, like Soul to Soul. It always, live it was bitching, that dun, gang, gang, and you just listen to it, it's tapered down. There's a fucking saxophone blaring through it.
But overall, that album, it sounds pretty awesome still.
But for what we should have done in hindsight, if anything, taken what people liked about us and what we were getting off on, that ballsiness, and brought that over and even elevated it. In hindsight, that's the success of the band would have probably been a little bit different.
We went around a giant circle, we've done the business stuff and we've dealt with all these people and everything else. When it comes down to it, we just want to rock and roll, we just want to play our music and create stuff and be artists,
Well put.
If your first record's successful and you sell 500,000 units and the second record comes out and it does a tenth of that, it's considered a failure. And plus there was a change of the guard then. By 91, 92 you had Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Mudhoney. That was a whole
grunge thing was coming.
Thing was happening, so a lot of bands took an ass whipping. and only the strong survive.
It was very difficult for everyone that involved, I think. Just to be overnight, just to be looked at as, you know, sort of like trash, you know, really undesirable, uncool, you know what I mean? So it was, I think it was difficult for a lot of people.
Radio and MTV was very unkind to what was left of 80s hair metal. It was kind of like all the albums were going off the radio and MTV while the bands were still out on tour, and that was very weird. Everything was alternative, but the big summer tours were still like Motley Crue.
I know it's a new generation of music out there and everything, and we do what we do. We can't change our ways. We're Bang Tango, and we gotta be very undefinable as it is. For being there for us, because you're the reason why we're still a band, and you're the reason why we're putting out another album. I know I said this last year, but we finally do have our album. We finally do have it coming out. It's called Love After Death, because we're still here, even though people thought we died.
So we convinced MCA to give us, you know, not convinced them, but they were willing to give the band another shot with a full-length another record.
Well, I think after Dancin' with Coals didn't work out, they decided to come back to me because they liked my style and they liked the fact that I was tough on them, and I was.
I think me and Joe kind of took reign of the songwriting, even though like it was never really talked about. But the band would come in and write their parts, and incredible parts to what either I would initiate or Joe would initiate vocally.
In Love After Death, it was, we were just angry, man.
Love After Death has a little bit more of aggressive, you know, screw you, kind of pissed off, just, you know, anger kind of tone to it.
We were on a roll. I thought we wrote a great record, and I was excited about it. And I mean, we spent 2 years on it, I think, and we were all over the country. We were in like 6 different studios.
Song-wise, I think it's the most matured album. Sonically, it's amazing.
We were kind of chasing our first record a little bit, but reinventing ourselves for the time, and I was excited about it. It was great. It was like I thought, you know, this is going to be awesome.
I think collectively we were on the same page about some of the emotions that were going on, about, you know, the environment of music, the environment of the business, the environment of our personal lives. We're all kind of coming down on us all at the same time. I think there was a lot of that going on, but I think we're still having a good time, you know, with it all. I think we were focused about our music. We really thought this record was one of our best. I always thought that. I've heard the other guys say they really love it too.
That's considered probably the best Bang Tango studio album ever made.
We were just kind of a little bit too late on that one, I think.
We tried hard. I'll give Joe a lot of credit. He worked really hard on that record, and so did they.
And, you know, then we go into talk marketing, and they decide to pass on the record and not going to put it out.
It was like the death knell for their career, and frankly, the death knell to my career. I was pretty much done as a producer at that point.
We were like heartbroken. It was like, what?
We could have done we literally could have written, it's like, I don't know, The Wall, Pink Floyd, and it wouldn't have come out.
There's actually a lost CD out there called Love After Death.
That's when I see my man, sweet Jesus.
It was one of those albums, I think, that if it had got released like domestically in America, I think it would have put them over the top. And I think they could have been one of those bands that bridged that gap.
It by far was more advanced, more sophisticated, another level of Bang Tango that the fans have not heard.
It's probably one of those great lost rock albums of that period.
It had some really good stuff on it, some real, like, you know, some more current, kind of not so Hollywood fun times, but, you know, some current stuff.
It's never been released. I don't know who's holding on to it, but it needs to be brought out there to the fans. And to deny the fans that is just a travesty. It's not right. They deserve this album.
MCA spent the money on it. Should have just put it out.
I actually see it as a better album than both Psycho Cafe and Dancing on Coals.
Well, like you're saying with Joe, first time I interviewed him, we were out at the Thirsty Whale, and you know, I sat down with him, and we're trying to do, you know, the MCA, like you were saying, you know, they were on Mechanics Records, which is part of MCA, and you know, they turned to screw on me, you know, hey, we're really behind this band, I think we're going to do something.
MCA, Musicians Cemetery Association.
Yes, the Musical Cemetery of America, the Musicians Cemetery. Yeah, that's exactly right. And
it was a good label when Neil Bogart was running it, and he first signed Kiss, and he was building it up a little bit, and then it died a fast death.
And then it died.
MCA didn't get rock music.
We got dropped by MCA.
They dropped the band, yeah. they said, yeah, they're like, yeah, you guys can take the record, you're done, they're done. And they had spent like a lot of money on us. Yeah. And 2 years of like recording it and writing it, you know. So it was heartbreaking.
Who was our A&R? Randy Jackson from American Idol was our A&R guy at the very end. Like, we got shoved off to him, you know. It was like, yo, dog, you know, this album's good. I'm like, oh shit, this is the end. This is the beginning of the end.
Because all I was thinking is, we'll just get picked right back up again. You know what I mean? You know, somebody else will take us.
Just because they didn't look right, the label did not believe in anything that was a rock band at that time. It had to be Nirvana grunge.
Well, I mean, you know, well, first off, I mean, I can't really, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a double-loaded question because, first of all, you know, I'm a music fan, I'm a music lover, and I've never really felt that we got, like, I don't know, screwed over by the grunge thing or anything, because grunge didn't really take my world away. You know, I love that stuff.
I think that Bang Tango could have traveled right over with Nirvana and held their own side by side with them. They could play anything, they could morph into anything, and the fact that they were dropped by MCA is it's just deplorable to me. And to categorize them with any hair band, not right, not good, not true.
The first person to come to me and say, you know, I'm gone is Kyle Stevens.
I left the band in '93. We had just finished Love After Death, and I was just sort of, I'm kind of a different person. I'm not a road dog. I'm you know, I love playing live, but it was starting to wear on me. I'm kind of a homebody a little bit, and the touring was just wearing me down, and I wasn't enjoying it anymore. I knew that the future of Bang Tango, as far as any commercial success, I wasn't really believing in it anymore. You know, my childhood dream was to be a rock star and to play guitar and make a living playing guitar. And I did it enough to where if on my deathbed, I'm like, I'm cool with that.
I want to introduce a friend of mine who's been actually playing in a little side project I have going. And he's now an official member of Bang Tango. This is Mark, and I'm not even going to say his last name. smoking guitar player, man. He's really good. He's real good. He's the only guy we could find to give Mark enough shit. The other Mark. Now we got 2 Marks.
So Joe had been playing in the side band called the Vagabonds with Mark, and we were kind of desperate for a guitar player, and I was kind of wavering interest in the band at the point, and he told us about Mark, and Mark, he did one rehearsal. I'm like, man, you sound great, man. You got the gig.
They had a tour of Europe coming up, and so I basically was asked if I was interested in joining the band for it, and of course, I want to go travel and play, so I did it, and that was the first and last tour with the original band for me.
Or the Unbreakables.
To be honest, I don't even remember the specific way the band ended.
I was kind of over the whole Bang Tango thing. I was just, you know, I was invested in it, so I wasn't about to quit unless there was good reason to quit, you know, or things weren't right. So we went over to Europe. It was the 5 of us with Mark in the band, and I was like kind of plotting a new band when I got home. I was just going to do some solo stuff. I wasn't out to like leave the band or anything.
It was kind of, there was like, we had a vibe. It wasn't working out really between us then. We were kind of like not as buddy-buddy as we were at the beginning anymore on that last tour. There was kind of some tension in the air.
Some of those European shows we did in Bang Tango, there was like 10 people and a dog in the crowd.
Everybody kind of saw the inevitable happening.
And then we came back, and it was weird. It was just kind of just disbanded. There was no like, I'm quitting. It was just really weird.
So it ended up pretty much being the end.
And Joe was plotting a new band, and it was just kind of like, okay, I guess it's over. And boom, that was it. Let's see, after the band broke up, it was, I mean, Joe and me had a falling out. We didn't talk for like 6 months. I got married. He didn't show up to the wedding. You know, he was supposed to be part of the ceremony. And he just wigged out. And so I didn't talk to him. The other guys I was still cool with, you know. We all kind of were like, hey, I guess well, the band's over, you know. And then 6 months later, after I'd been married, I got a call from Joe. He goes, hey, man, I really want you to do the band again. You know, I'm continuing on. And I was like, but I just want you because you deserve it and all this. I'm like, what do you mean I deserve it? What are you talking about? I deserve it? Well, I'm not, you know, I just want to use you. We're opening for Tesla. And like, he put a whole other band together around himself. And I'm like, I passed. I'm like, nah, no, man, I deserve it. Really? I would think so.
Joe basically took over the band with Kyle, and it was their vision, you know. I mean, if you notice, the live album cover is just Joe and Kyle. It's not a band at that point, you know, and that probably speaks volumes about what was going on behind the scenes too, you know. And it wasn't as cohesive as a band should have been because it was kind of about egos rather than just music at that point, and that was kind of where I grew out of it too.
I didn't keep the band going in the 90s with Kyle. Kyle, well, I guess that's not true. What I meant but what I'm trying to say is I didn't do that. We did that. You know what I mean? Kyle and I did that.
We did a couple records, Joe and I with some other guys. We did a couple independent records, but I mean, you know, in the end of the day, that's basically not Bang Tango, and it was something that we probably shouldn't have done. It was bad production, low budget. Shouldn't have used the Bang Tango name for that, in my opinion, actually. But you know, what we started to do, when we did that, we kind of edged into something else that was good. You know, when Joe and I did something acoustically called Eating Crow.
Crow, yeah. That was, so myself, Kyle, and Joe got together at Kyle's house and started writing songs.
We wrote a few songs, changed our style a little bit to try something different.
And she's bad. I love her so I never forget.
I liked Joe's voice, still the best when he sings in his, some of his influences were Elvis and even Bono, I think, he liked a lot. And that range of his voice is the richest and the best to me. His, obviously, a lot of the stuff we do in Bang Tango reaches the high registers, more Axl, more Steven Tyler, but which is cool. But I do like the stuff we did. We kind of tried to use the lower registers acoustically, and him singing, and we did some shows that way. It was kind of awesome.
Sometimes it makes me happy. Sometimes I feel I've been abused. Sometimes it makes me happy.
And I thought those songs were really great. I really thought that was a great creative period, and over the course of a few days we wrote and recorded some great songs. Yeah, and one of the songs got used in a movie, Wes Craven movie called Wishmaster. That one of the songs we wrote was in that. That was a good creative time, and I was happy with those recordings.
That was the worst probably time in my life when drugs and alcohol were basically more prevalent.
Spent a lot of time up all night, making sure he didn't die. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
Yeah. Stealing drugs from him so that I could fucking give him some in the morning so I could get him out of bed.
Yeah. He's got a lot of Kyle stories.
Kyle had started using heroin. That was at that time, that was the big, in Hollywood, it was the big plague of that black tar heroin. And, I'd end up, going to get heroin for Kyle, and I would always steal some and put to the side because I knew he was going to go through it, and then we couldn't get him out of bed in the morning. It was bad. It was sad, but I think back on it, it was sad. I spent a lot of nights just sitting up, not knowing how deep he was or wasn't, and just making sure that when he did fall asleep that he was okay and on his side, and then I would just be able to put the little bit of drugs back in on his in his foil, so that when he woke up, oh shit, I have some more, cool, and we could get out and we could start the day.
I've been sober over 12 years now, and you look back and you see why that's the way that is.
That leads up to the accident.
Tell me about Kyle's car accident.
Oh, I'll pass on that.
That was actually really traumatizing. I was driving, and so I got blamed for trying to kill everyone.
Joe and I were still doing our B-side version of Bang Tango, and we did a one-off in Phoenix. We were on our way back late that night, we were in one of my SUVs with a trailer on the back with the gear, getting into LA early in the morning before traffic. Not many cars yet out. The trailer came off.
All of a sudden, the trailer started swaying like this, and then it stopped swaying and just went bloop.
I kind of woke up going what's going on?
So I'm going this way, and then all of a sudden the trailer's this way, and then all of a sudden now the trailer's straight and the SUV is this way. So instead of driving here, I'm going facing this way, but we're still heading that direction.
And we're spinning around, and I turn around this way. I look that way, and I see the trailer on its side, and a truck, kind of a piece of it, the back of a truck over there. And right as I look over, the trailer's coming at us really fast.
And I was thinking, this might not be good. I remember thinking that, this is bad.
And I could tell, this is not going to end well. So I kind of like remember seeing that. I grabbed the headrest, looked at the rear, and this is the image I have. The rear view mirror, I just remember seeing like that, and it just goes black.
As soon as we flipped over, we landed on the roof, and I remember all the windows broke. I remember that clearly, just all the windows broke, and the glass was everywhere. And I remember we landed, I think stupidly I said, "Hey, that wasn't so bad. That was like a ride at Disneyland or something," not realizing that Kyle had been thrown out of the truck.
I got shot straight out. We were going somewhere around 70 miles per hour. I went straight into the cement median. But the lucky thing is the SUV flipped a few times and then landed with one tire over the median, kind of like a lean-to, you know. So when they got all out, they couldn't find me. I was underneath. So thank God it went that extra few inches, because if it would have got a foot earlier, it probably would have crushed me.
So I found Kyle, and he was all confused, and he had blood coming out of his head, and that was tough to see. Those are bad images I don't want to have in my head.
I was bleeding out pretty bad. I had a fractured skull, C2 vertebrae was fractured, all the ribs on this side, one of the ribs deflated, one lung, another few other wrist, ankle, the other bones broken, collarbone was shooting out. But the weird thing is I got up, so they said, and they found me under it. I was filled with glass everywhere and bleeding out. But I kept getting up and going like this, like just looking at my hands and walking around, and they kept trying to put me down on the ground, and then I keep getting up just doing that. So I don't know what it was about, but it seems obvious. Must have been concerned just about all I care about is my hands. Are they working? Can I still play?
And then Kyle was in the hospital for a while, and it was a tough time.
I was in intensive care for 30 days, in and out of, I don't know what, little comas of sorts. I was in and out. When I came out, I kind of like lost most memories. I didn't really understand any words. I didn't know even what objects were. So it took a few weeks, and then it started all coming back as the brain injury and the swelling, as it kind of like stopped being so bad. It started coming back. It's a good 90-95% back, which is I'll accept that. I could speak again.
He called me and asked me if I was interested in kind of doing the Vagabonds again, a different style of Vagabonds. And I was still pretty sour from the way things went with Bang Tango. I mean, it was more than like just personal stuff. I mean, there was obviously other issues in there, you know. And he basically put together Beautiful Creatures, and they got a gig opening up for Kiss. And the last time I really ever talked to Joe was when he called to leave a message and rub it in that they were opening for Kiss, and I was supposed to be in that band.
I got those calls too.
Yep. He goes, "Hey, I know you love Kiss, so I just wanted to let you know the new band I just formed. Yeah, we're opening for Kiss. All right, brother, I'll talk to you later." It's like, wow, that's dick move.
02, 03 Ozfest, I don't remember which one. I was working at a station in Hartford called Radio 104, and we were an alternative station. Beautiful Creatures was on the second or third stage, and I'm in the catering area, the VIP area, and there's Joe Lestay. And I'm like, there's the lead singer of Bang Tango. So I walk right up and introduce myself. I say, "Hey, I'm with Radio 104, and I know but I was such a big Bang Tango fan." And he said something like, "Oh, you're the other guy. You're the other guy, or you're the third guy, or whatever it was." And I was like, "What?"
Beautiful Creatures. It was. Oh, really? I thought we were sticking to Bang Tango, man. Hey.
Pass it if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that.
Why reform Bang Tango after Beautiful Creatures?
I'm gonna pass on that one too.
Bang Tango is not a band from the 80s, we're just a band that never left. And it has some different members in it.
I mean, he's doing what he's got to do, I guess. You know, he's been carrying the name around for for many years. So salute to him for that.
Right now, the current lineup's been around. I've been in the band for 2.5 years. So, and then Lance has been in the band for 8 years.
I guess a couple of those guys have been with them for a while, you know, so that's cool, you know. I've heard some of their music after the original lineup. It doesn't sound like, really doesn't sound like the sound we were kind of creating as a band. Sounds like Joe singing.
Joe, you know, does what he wants to do. He can do that, but naming a band Bang Tango without the original guys is kind of not the same band. That's just the way it is. Whether they're good guys, good players or not, I'm sure they are. It's not the same band, not even close.
Bottom line is, nobody knows who the fuck we are. Nobody knows who the fuck Lance, Trent, or Scott are. I mean, the band is Joe and his Bang Tango. Nobody knows who the fuck we are. They know who Joe is. Regardless of what the three of us do in this band, it's still Joe's band. And what he's done in his lifetime in this business demands respect.
It'd be great to have any career at all. They had one hit song. It did Someone Like You. It did very well for those guys, and it gave them a good 5-year run, 10-year run. Right now, that band's working on fumes right now.
I look at this as my ship, you know what I mean? I've been sailing it for 25 years now, and I'm not going to jump my ship. You know, if this ship's going to go down, I'm the one that's going to go down with it.
Listen, I joined the band in '09, and I've seen everything from Joe get sick and have to go to the hospital to, you know, the bad side where you know, the band was way too screwed up to even play on stage.
Shithead, monitor guy, sound guy. Look, he's up there going, dude, just give me some shit. I fucking don't care what you're saying. Asshole, I need to be louder. I love this guy. He's my new fucking sound man. So he looks at me and goes, Joe, shut up. I'm trying to score some shit.
I don't know really what to say. I read it in the tabloids, and I read it in Sleaze Rock and Metal Sludge. You know, he drinks a lot. He's in the hospital. He's, you know, I mean, I don't know what to say. Yeah, I mean,
I would say that I went through a bad time. You know, can you say that? Like, you know what I mean? I was going through a bad time.
You know, he's a rock and roll soldier, man. The guy's out there doing it still. I mean, that's not easy. Especially getting older, you know, touring like he does. I mean, no one realizes how hard it is to actually do that.
2009, I signed on to do a week of shows with Joe in the Midwest. It was like 5 shows in the Chicago area. And the night before Thanksgiving, Joe he hadn't been taking care of himself on that tour and ended up in the hospital. Like literally 2 hours before the show time, we put him in an ambulance and we didn't know what was going to happen. So I'm backstage. And the promoter's like, you know, the place is packed. The promoter's looking at me going, what are we going to do? I said, well, we can either cancel, and you can give all these people their money back, or we can figure out a way to get Bang Tango on stage. And I'll keep in mind, at this point, Bang Tango is no original guys. The one founding member is in a hospital, and it's just me and a couple other dudes, you know, that have nothing to do with the history of the band. So we're really stretching it. We're stretching it calling it Bang Tango to begin with. Now we're really stretching it.
It was crazy. I mean, I just kind of, you know, I was watching the bands that opened. I didn't really know anybody. I wasn't really talking to anybody. And I was just kind of looking at the merch stuff, and I saw Lance there, and him and I started talking, and we were just talking about whatever, and then kind of bullshit, and then someone came up, and they're like, you know, I heard you guys are canceling the show tonight because Joe was in the hospital.
This kid overhears a conversation. This kid comes up to me and goes, hey, I heard Joey's sick. Is he going to be okay? And I said, dude, I don't know. We just took him to the hospital. I'm waiting for the doctor to call us back. I don't know what's going to happen. He goes, oh, man, I drove 3 hours to this show. I really wanted to see him. I hope he's okay. And he looked really, really distraught.
We were just kind of bullshitting back and forth. I'm like, you know, I could probably sing a couple of those songs.
said, really?
He's like, seriously? And he's like, it's like, what's the chorus for Someone Like You? I started saying it. He's like, no, sing it right here in the lobby. So I sang the chorus. He's like, yeah, all right. So hold on a second. And he goes backstage and he comes out. He's like, hey, come here.
So I gave him the set list. I said, sing the lyrics to Dancin' on Coals right now. Boom, rattles them off. Like, really, really well. Like, better than the guy that wrote the song even singing it. No offense.
And Alex was like, all right, well, here. And he hands me a set list. And he's like, which of these songs can you sing? And I'm like, I mean, I can sing them all. And he's like, who knows every Bang Tango song? And I was like, I do.
And so I said, all right, well, I guess we'll give it a go. So we did the whole set with the kid. And there's a YouTube of it, which hopefully you're going to show right after I talk about this, of him doing Someone Like You. And the kid just kills it. He must have been a ghost or something. It couldn't have been real. But yeah, we pulled it off. It was a Bang Tango show with not one original member of Bang Tango. We were like Foreigner before Foreigner did that shit.
Not one actual member of Bang Tango on the stage that night, which is fucking phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
That might be the coolest
thing. That's
thing
a coup d'etat right there. Yeah. That's a coup of all coups.
It was it's something I'll never forget.
I didn't even know his name. He gave me. I gave him $100 after the show. I said, thank you so much. Put it, this will cover your gas. Like, you just saved our ass. And he just took off. I don't know who he is, where he came from, but he loves Bang Tango.
Well, at the end of the day, they're still out there playing, doing gigs. You got to give them credit for that.
No, I give them all credit, and I give Joe credit for actually hanging in there, and with having enough adversity to overcome anything that's been thrown at him. So, God bless him, and God bless Bang Tango.
Another interesting tour that Bang Tango did was in 2003. We got called to go on tour with a band called Less Than Jake.
So we're thinking, like, you know what? They probably wanted to get Warrant or some kind of, like, let's just get one of those bands from 80s. That'd be such a goof, So me and Alex get to the gig, and Chris, the lead singer, comes out. This tall guy, blonde hair, spikes, and he's like, "Is Joe here?"
I'm like, "Yeah, he's here. He's, like, what do you think?" It's Joe Lestay. It's on Axl Rose. Yeah, he's here. He's playing the dressing room,
And he looked like a little kid, he had these like stars in his eyes. And then we said, "Oh yeah, he's coming," And oh wow, I love Bang Tango. And so anyway, it turned out he was just a huge Bang Tango fan, and he's like, I just was like, could they open for us? That would be amazing. So he's like, are you guys the original guys? I'm like, come on, dude.
The opening band on the bill was an unknown band at the time called Fall Out Boy.
So one night the singer was like, is that Jack Daniels? Is that good? And we're like, are you serious? So he said, come here.
And I remember like forcing the singer to do shots of Jack with us.
So he's like, well, I don't know if I should have it. And Alex, you gotta know licks, but he just goes, drink it.
Oh, I don't know. And we're all passing the bottle around. I'm like, come on, drink it. Come on.
Do I need a cup or a glass? He's like, just take it.
Like John Belushi in Animal House. Come on. And he eventually did. And I think the rest of his band hated us, though. He was cool.
I think that was his first shot of Jack Daniels.
Nah, I'm sure that's part of their career they're trying to live down. And I think that's part of mine I'm trying to live down, too.
It was a lot of fun.
And I found out later the main reason that Les and Jake wanted us is because Howard Benson did their record.
Meeting Joe and the band when we toured with them in 2003, it was really cool because they had come out to do a couple shows with us, and I had heard stories of Joe being a crazy wild man from Howard Benson, who produced their record Psycho Cafe, who also produced a couple of Less Than Jake records. And to get to meet them, they were really enthused to be out there. They knew they were playing in front of a different crowd for them. It was mainly our crowd because we had asked them last minute to come on this tour. So it was awesome meeting them, and they were great guys, lots of fun.
It was amazing. It was sold. A complete House of Blues sold out tour. Those guys are awesome. Amazing band.
I was lucky enough to do a record, Pistol Whipped in the Bible Belt, which got really good reviews, especially overseas.
decided to start getting real with things, a little more serious.
We need to get this fucking thing done.
There you go. What are we trying to accomplish?
We're trying to freaking load the ball, dude. We've been sitting here. Can't believe that. Guys are idiots.
Our careers in dancing, you know, especially with what's going on here, and we're in Johnny K's studio here. We got Daniel and Carp, pretty much producing this whole record, and they're pretty talented dudes, and they're pulling some good stuff out of us, and I mean, you probably can hear our retarded guitar player playing in there at this point.
Oh, you want that different? See, he wants that other part that I did from the other one.
No shit.
Dude. That's what he wants.
That's what we've been saying. The one that we've been talking about the whole time is the reason why we're talking about it, because it's different.
Whatever you want.
All right, is there any crayons around here I can fucking draw them something?
No, I know what you guys are saying.
No, you don't. You can. I don't get angry.
Listen, the
I'm
first
a very
part,
mellow
right?
person, and you are trying my patience.
The first part that goes like this.
Yep. No, it doesn't. It goes. Do a fucking lick there. Do something different there and make it different.
And now you want this right here.
And with a cool fucking note.
So yeah, we're doing good. Hey man, did you hook me up, bro? Hey, just give me 5 real quick. Stick.
Out of the 7 or 8 records that I've released, that is one of my most proudest one was that album, because it sounded good and Joe did really good in the studio.
I thought that Pistol Whip, that CD, I think it came out awesome, man. I think it was really cool. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and go overboard. I mean, are there things I'd change about it? Yeah, I wouldn't have rushed it as fast as, And I think that we needed a little bit more time to nurture the songs and stuff. But for what the budget was and for what we did, yeah, man, I thought it was pretty cool.
Say hello to Holly, she's there for you.
I finally just decided to put it under my name, Mark Knight. I just started doing records on my own, and Mark Tremalio's been with me the whole time. And then the Unsung Heroes was formed recently. I brought Tig back, and we got Reeve from Rhino Bucket on bass, and me and Mark, and about a year and a half ago we put that lineup together, and we just went in and we spent a year making a new record, the 4 of us. It's called Road Sick Eyes. It's a new record.
You need some temporary, not someone you can bury. Someone you might sink your teeth into. Someone you can borrow, not someone you can follow.
The project I'm in now called Mona Lisa Overdrive, myself and Danny Parker, who was actually one of the drummers at the end of Bang Tango that we used as well when Joe and I were doing it. So I met him back then, and then years later we started a project called Mona Lisa Overdrive. He was a drummer originally, he's now a singer. I was originally a bass player of Bang Tango and now play more guitar.
It doesn't matter what you say, I never
The band is it's a heavy guitar rock band. It's a little bit on the industrial side, but yet with kind of more catchy choruses mixed in, and slightly electronic in times, and yet still basing a still heavy rock based sound. So I mean, there's like a cyberpunk kind of vibe to the look and the vibe, but it's hard to explain. I mean, you have to hear it.
We're packing up to travel to Minnesota.
Haven't fun yet?
Who, what?
Haven't fun yet?
Let me tell you, I had the real life, which is the life that everybody doesn't dream about, for 22 years, delivering mail in weather like this. I would much rather have this life than I had.
Well put.
So, now you understand where I'm coming from.
Cal Stevens told me that the reason why Love After Death didn't come out was because of Randy Jackson. He became the A&R guy at,
No, man. Kyle Stevens doesn't know what he's... I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's lupus.
He's what?
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
We asked for a trailer with it.
Why is Trickster's tires more than ours?
There it is, the bed. It's the one we wanted, Lance.
With the tassels?
Is it locked? Oh, look at that.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
Man, I want some sun.
So why does it sound all quiet where are you now?
Yeah, the crappy line out stage clothes. Kick ass, huh? Living the dream.
Any $75 meals?
That's the way it is. Sometimes you got a lot of money and sometimes you don't.
You know, I left because honestly,
it was time.
It was time. It was time. There was time after 3.5 years when you are going on the road and you're doing so much work for a band and you're working really hard, and then decisions are being made, and some of them you may not agree with, some of them you agree with. I would, for the amount of money that I was making, I would rather turn around and in 5 years still be friends with those guys than to in 5 years go, I can't stand any of you. You know what I mean? Because to me, their friendship means more than me playing Rockstar out on the road with those guys.
So, here we are, doing the 80s Invasion tour, and the tour's going amazing. I hesitated.
Tour is insane. These guys are insane. Never had so much fun in my life. We've got rolling around a $500,000 tour bus with Bang Tango, and enough's enough. I mean, there's the back area. Have you been to the back lounge?
No, it's the first time I'm here, man.
Oh, let's go to the back lounge.
Oh, wow. This is where it ends?
Yeah, this is the lounge area. And, dude, why do you gotta get so close, man?
I'm not that close. I'm zoomed out.
Bro, but like right now, you know?
That's it's the crank quarters, man. It's all good. It's all good, bro. It's all good.
Sit down, boy!
And that Eden Crow stuff, man.
Kyle?
Yeah. Whatever happened with that? How come they didn't really take off?
We didn't even try anything with it.
I know
no, I'll tell you what happened with it. I don't know what you fucking heard. You want to know what happened with it? Let me explain it to you. It goes like this. I got a phone call from Danny Goldberg, who was now at the time the president of Chrysalis, I guess, or something. And he called me up and said, when can we do the showcase? You got a deal right away. We're so impressed with what you've done.
Eden Crow?
Mm-hmm. Then Kyle got into a wreck. Never got the call again.
Wow.
Party. Oh, that's the way to go, right?
He's shady. I'm Joe Shady, man. I mean, I don't trust him. He's your best friend when he needs something, you know?
Mark Knight's so out of his mind, dude. You know what he does? He doesn't talk to me, anything, and then I play a show, and then he finds out about it the next day and goes, what's up with coming to town not fucking calling me? It's like, dude, come on, you live there, you see the advertising. See, that's Mark's big MO. That way he goes back to everybody and goes, yeah, we tried, Joe never calls me. And it's like, dude, I'm so over that shit.
We'll talk here and there, you know. He'll be on to some plot of some scheme and something we're going to do together, and I don't hear from him again. He disappears. It's just the same pattern, you know. I mean, I love the guy. He's like a brother, you know, but it's like, it never seems to like become a reality with him. It's just, you know, we've talked about reuniting, and he's asked me to be in this rendition of the band a couple times. And
he'd be on this bus right now if he would have fucking answered me.
Yeah.
But no, he's got his own thing though.
Have you heard the CD yet? It's him, Tig, Mark Tremalia, and Reeve from Rhino Bucket.
But he's singing, right?
Yeah, he's singing.
How's that going?
Never been happier. I'm super proud. Came out amazing. Yeah, it's real.
It's more about that look in your eyes and that bullshit you're trying to sell. Oh, it ain't easy, no, it ain't easy indeed. I should be going, yeah, you know I really should leave. Keep your eye on the prize, looking right in the eyes and just lie, lie, lie. Yes, lie, lie, lie. Just lie, lie, lie. Just lie.
I've reinvented myself as a singer-songwriter. I got the unsung heroes in my band, and I'm putting records out, and I'm doing my thing. So I kind of can relate to him a little bit on that end.
You know, it's kind of weird how people are, because, you know, if you think about it, and I'm just being straight, man. It's all the way, it's just the way I roll, you know, the way I am. But, you know, you look at guys like that who I love and respect and wrote some great songs together and everything, and they made their conscious decision to exit the building, you know what I mean? Which is cool, you know, I respected every one of them for what they did, but a little respect coming back to me for being the guy that held it together for fucking 25 years. And all they were was a good 6 years of it.
Joe's fighting with his current, like, incarnation of the band and the success he's spent years developing, and going back to the original lineup, who doesn't necessarily play music full time. And I get it, you know, I understand. You know, it's like, you know, those guys can't have what he's worked for the last 15 years holding the name. And it makes sense.
That band had something special about them, and it might have been too special. Like, it might have been one click too special.
Which is probably part of the reason why they never became super huge, because, you know, if you're not part of a niche, you know, then people don't really know how to sell you. I know all about that.
There's a lot of bands like that. I mean, I was doing a band called Less Than Jake, and we made a list of all the hard rock bands ever signed. It's like 400 of them were signed within a small 6-year period. I think only maybe 20 of them were successful. The rest just weren't, you know? Bands like Danger, and, you know, bands like that, you know, Heaven's Gate and Heaven's This and, you know, Heaven's Edge. And I mean, it's a crazy amount of bands, you know? So most of them didn't sell any records. I mean, Bang Tango at least did something.
Basically what you're saying is the band was clothed in failure, but you admire their strut.
Even I started off not liking them and eventually did like them and do like them. And if there's a Bang Tango song that comes on the radio right now, I will definitely turn it up, and I'd like to hear Bang Tango. And if Bang Tango was playing tonight, even though I almost never go out, if Bang Tango was playing tonight, I would definitely go see him.
Let's just say this, any band that's been touring as long as not only you guys have, but Bang Tango, and still is having somebody actually give them money.
Yeah.
To come into the club and play, no matter what it is, 300, 3,000, 10,000, whatever it is, that's a success. Because a 20-year career for anybody in the music business, and still making money, still being able to make
breathing,
money, right? Exactly, is a success. Whether you've sold one album or a million records, to have that long of a career for any band is a success. Because how many bands have we seen, and how many bands have you seen? Especially you've been on the scene longer than anybody.
The average life expectancy of any rock band is like 5 years. So
exactly.
They've passed the test of time.
Looking at Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie and all of this sort of dark experimental music that was coming out, and I thought Bang Tango could have had a place in that had they not been lumped in with 80s hair metal.
I'd really like to see Joe
and Kyle and Tig and Mark and Kyle Stevens get all back together and give the world Bang Tango back. That's my dream.
I mean, I talked to Joe, like, I don't know, maybe it was 3 or 4 months ago about doing some stuff and getting with this booker and doing a tour and doing like major cities as the original lineup. And then he just disappeared.
And I no discredit to the guys that are playing with Joe right now, but the original lineup is the original lineup. Kiss did it, Bang Tango can do it.
The 5 guys that made that sound in that band deserve every right to be able to play and perform and take credit for this documentary and what we established and made. After that lineup split, you know, the success kind of teetered, you know? I mean, it is what it is. It's obvious.
Bang Tango to me was the beginning of a trend that never happened.
But that was then. Who cares?
All right, Joe, so what's going on today?
Today we would be getting ready to play Pine Knob, big arena. Played here twice before, and I love it very much.
1 minute to showtime.
Rushed. Being rushed.
We'll rock the house.
Yes, sir.
Gotta hit the stage.
Awesome.
Guys gonna rock, start the party.
The trouble with me is I never took the time to see things clear and have an open mind.
I mean, this is Bang Tango now. You know, it's the original guys were together. You know, that was before. Then there's, you know, where they went and where it is now. And you know, those guys were together until 95 or something. I've been with Joe for the last 10 years. You know, we've all come a long way. Joe's come a long way. You know, he deserves the right to use the name Bang Tango. I mean, he is Bang Tango.
As far as the future for the band, this is it. I mean, this is my baby. You know what I mean? I don't. You know, this is what I've spent my whole life doing, and I don't have plans on doing it any other way. You know what I mean? And other than that, you know, I have nothing else to say except for fucking rock. Right?
Something's happened. want someone, 'cause I want someone. Do you need some love? 'Cause I need some love. Do you want some love? 'Cause I need some love. Oh, crazy! No, 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 I'm crazy! No, 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 I'm crazy! You're crazy! No, 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 I'm crazy! If you believe.
All right, let's go. Get the